Hello there everybody and welcome back to Tree of Tranquility. We are on the 7th day of winter. My wonderful husband is hanging out here with me in the morning. And one of the things I've discovered is that in this game, your spouse will make you a boxed lunch every single day. Now this is basically just for you to gain your stamina back so you can eat this while you're out. Or you can sell it, which is normally what I do because I have such a large stamina bar and I have such good tools that generally speaking I don't run out of stamina in a day. But one of the good uses for this that I can think of is stockpiling a bunch of them and taking them with you when you go mining. That way you have something that you can use and you don't have to take a return trip back. You don't have to use the hot springs. Especially if you're going to the one over by the Goddess Pond, since that is a fairly long distance away from your house. Other than that, marriage has been pretty normal so far. I go out and do my chores, and Chase still goes to work. I still see him at the Sunday Inn cooking during the nighttime. So it's a little weird because we're married, but we barely see each other. We see each other during the day, and that's pretty much it. He will leave the house pretty early, and he'll go hang out in Waffletown. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm all for your spouse containing or keeping their same kind of lifestyle and their same routine up. I don't think that you should give up your job or your friends or your hobbies or anything like that when you get married, so that's fine. I just hope that when we have a child, someone will be home with the kid. That would be good. Probably not a wise idea to leave our baby unattended for a long period of time. You can see here that everything is starting to grow in. This is actually the first harvest I'm making on this field. So some of this stuff has taken quite a long time to grow in. And I think I have some seeds in my house that I can probably use on these empty spaces. Whatever this is, I think it's some sort of flower. This doesn't look ready to come in quite yet. But we have the green bellflowers. They're all ready to go. And that buzzing bee is going to give us some green honey. So go ahead and pick up all of these. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ship these and then pick up the other 9 bells separately so that I can use them later on for perfume, since I like to save a few of my flowers for that purpose. This field looks very, very green. The yellow herbs really stood out because all these other flowers are very, very green. But it looks nice in this season to have a little bit of green, so I think that's a good thing. Let's go ahead and water what we have left here. I harvested some of my buckwheat yesterday, and so hopefully I can pick what buckwheat I have on the other field. And if not today, then probably tomorrow, I would imagine. And because it's only the first week, we still have lots and lots of time to replant some stuff, if that's what I want to do. Go ahead and check in here. We got some eggs, we got a cocoon ready for us. Same old, same old. I managed to get another piece of shining wool off of my sheep, which was super nice, but I still have not yet obtained a shining cocoon. That is the dream. That is what we hope for, so that we can make our final rucksack upgrade. Although, with what we have now, I can't say that I've really been running out of space. We have 20 spaces, I do believe, in our rucksack. I think the most you can get is 25 spaces, and I don't normally have an issue with space, so even if I don't get the biggest rucksack, it's not going to be the end of the world for me. And another shocking and new development is that our ostrich has grown up. Look how big and tall this ostrich is. It looks so, like, almost royal. It looks regal. I don't know. I just like that it's nice and tall. It just looks so fancy. I haven't checked in the barn to see whether or not it lays an egg every day, or if it lays an egg every second day, or what the story is there, because it only just grew up yesterday. And so I feel like when they grow up, you have to kind of give them a day or two to sort of start laying eggs or giving you milk or whatever it is that they do for you. So I should probably go into the barn and just check that out, because they do give you eggs, and you can also ride them. And that's going to be one of our stops for today too. I haven't done it off camera because I figured it would be something fun just to put in the video, is to go up to Hannah's and to buy a saddle, because in order to ride your ostrich or your horse, yay, buckwheat's in, you have to have a saddle, and that costs money. So we'll go and see how much that costs, and then we can put the saddle on our ostrich and we could ride it around. And again, the ostrich is way, way faster than the horse, and so I kind of recommend the ostrich over the horse for that reason. Also because the horse can't give you any sort of product like the ostrich can. I just feel like even though an ostrich is a lot more expensive, down the line it's probably going to be more worth your while. So we got a nice variety of buckwheat here, different varying qualities, and they took about a week to grow, so that's not too bad. I can't complain about that, since there's really not a whole lot going on in winter. It's nice to see we've got something to do to keep us busy. And I'm either gonna have to call Taylor, or I'm gonna have to go through my toolbox and see if I have some more seeds. I'm gonna go ahead and ship these before I forget. There we are. Hannah's is open today. I think they're closed on Mondays, from what I recall. I hope. Oh, I hope. I know that the Souffle Farm is closed on Saturdays, but I think Hannah's is closed on Mondays. If that's not the case, then I sure chose a poor day to make a video. I'll do some maintenance here too while I'm at it. Don't really know why. I could probably not even bother with this because I'm not going to be getting anything off these trees anyways, but for some reason it just kind of irks me when it looks kind of unmanaged like that. It just kind of looks ugly and like no one's looking after it, and I don't think that's fair. We have to be a responsible farmer and a responsible landowner. So we'll do a little bit of cleanup and then we'll head on up there through the Garmin Mines district. Now with an ostrich, of course, this would go way faster. I plan on using the ostrich, I think, when I'm going to be going far from my house. If I'm going to be going over to the Gull Islands for some fishing or something like that, then I'll probably take it. Although I don't know if the ostrich can go over the rainbows. That is definitely something that we will have to test out. And while I'm here, I will also be giving Renee a gift. I might actually do that first. And the reason for that is because I have been making some pretty decent progress with getting all of our candidates married off to one another. See, I knew exactly where she was without even having to look at my tracker. That's how often I've been coming here. And another thing I learned, and of course this is a super late time in the game to learn this, but I learned that you can actually give them 2 gifts a day, assuming that it's a gift that they absolutely do not love. So this is a gift that she likes. She's got, you know, the little hearts, not the big hearts. It's not a gift that she loves, but if you can give them a gift that they like or something that's neutral, you can give them 2 a day. With gifts that they hate, you can give them as many as you want, but with gifts that they love, you can only do it once a day. So I actually didn't know that, and that has been helping up the progress of befriending them considerably. So yes, they should be open, because now that I'm remembering correctly, Renee goes fishing on Mondays. Every Monday she goes fishing, and that's her day off. So I'm glad I didn't screw it up, and they were actually open today. Alrighty, Hannah, let us see what you have. I have all the tools, with the exception of the saddle and the miracle potions. I don't really need the bell because I can just use the big bell that's on my barn. But you can see here that the saddle is for sale, and you do have to buy this to ride adult horses and ostriches, so we're gonna go ahead and purchase one. While I'm here, I'm also gonna buy some feed. I think I've got about 80 currently, so I kind of really don't need feed, but I have so much money, and I don't come to Hannah's that often, so I might as well just buy it while I'm here. And let's just have another look at the animals, because many of you have said they wanted me to get all the animals, and we really don't have many left at this point. We only have the horse and the goat. And after that, we will have a full farm with one of every animal. But I almost want to buy another silkworm. The reason for that is because silkworms don't live very long, and so I'm almost kind of anticipating my first silkworm to be passing away soon, which is very sad. But I want to say that silkworms only live for about 2 or 3 years. And I also like getting cocoons. They are a fantastic moneymaker. And I just think the more silkworms the merrier, because they don't get to go outside and play with all the other animals. They're very easy to take care of as well, which I like. So we have Slick and Slink, I think, as our 2 animals on the farm. Our 2 silkworms. Let's call this little guy Stretch, because I'd imagine he's like a little caterpillar where they do that like accordion-like movement when they kind of slink themselves along on the ground. So there we go. Get another animal for the farm. And the reason I'm not buying these 2 yet is because I almost am wondering if I should expand the barn, because I kind of feel like putting all of these big animals in one place would get a little bit chaotic. Although I do think we have enough space to have all these animals in there without expanding, but I'm gonna think about it. I'm a little bit on the fence about it right now. So now we'll go back to the farm and we'll check out our saddle. And I'd also like to look at expanding the chicken coop, because I feel like at least the barn is relatively large and each of the animals has their own little feeding area. But with birds and the chicken coop, it's a little bit more communal, where they all kind of just hang out together. And on days when I have to keep them inside, it can get really, really hectic in there. And so I might think about upgrading the coop as well. So I imagine the saddle is probably something we have to keep in the inventory if we're going to be pulling it out and we have to use it every single time we want to ride an animal, which is a bit of a pain, especially if you don't have an upgraded rucksack, but for me it shouldn't be too big of a problem. So let's just go ahead and place it and jump on. All right. So yeah, this is the movement with the ostrich, and as you can see, I move a heck of a lot faster. This is way faster than walking. So this is a really, really nice way to get around, and you can cover a pretty good amount of distance with this, I would say. So that's great. My 2 ultimate tests. A, can the ostrich go upstairs? And B, can it go over rainbows? It cannot go upstairs. Okay, so my idea to ride this thing over to the Gull Islands is out. It cannot climb stairs. Alright, so good to know. Luckily, you can ride it through loading screens, which is good, because if you couldn't, you definitely would not be getting very far. Let's check out the rainbow over here by Maple Lake, and it cannot climb rainbows either. So it looks as if the ostrich is a little bit limited, although I honestly can't say that that's a huge downfall. I feel like that's kind of realistic and kind of what I expected. I was half expecting the ostrich to be able to go upstairs, but I wasn't really expecting it to be able to go up rainbows, and so I can't say I'm disappointed or anything like that. And I still feel like this will be a really good help in getting me over to places like the mountain. I can go to the mountain a lot faster. I can go over to Brownie Ranch a lot faster. So there are definitely some uses for this. So thank you, little ostrich. I think we've given you a really nice workout today, and I'm sure I will be using your backpacking services again sometime in the future. Let's go ahead and give him a rest and put our animals in the barn. I should check the barn to see if he laid an egg. Or I guess it would be the girl. I guess she's a girl if she's laying an egg. But yeah, I do not see an egg here. Because we have this, which is the incubator for the ostrich eggs. So they do lay eggs, although as of yet, I do not see an egg. So I'm going to keep an eye on that and see if I can get it to lay an egg at some point. That would be good. And I better go feed that silkworm. Although, scratch that, never mind, I can't feed the silkworm because after 8 o'clock, all your animals go to sleep and you can't feed them. Which frustrates me so much because I always forget about that. And sometimes I will have forgotten to feed an animal, or I'll have forgotten to like pick them up, and then they don't get fed. So I am very sorry. This is probably not a good first impression on my farm, but I assure you, 9 times out of 10, I will remember to feed you. And that's pretty much it. I haven't been doing a whole lot of anything else. One of the things that I have done is I've arranged one of the marriages already, and I have an invite from Jin and Anessa, who are going to be getting married on the 15th of winter. So still giving gifts to some of the girls. I've managed to get Jin and Anessa together, and I've also managed to get Phoebe and Calvin together. That was only a couple days ago though, so I have not yet got the wedding invite, and I am working on getting Candace and Renee's hearts up. Remember that in Trio Tranquility there are some candidates that do not get married, so in this game, Gil, Owen, Luke, Selena, Luna, and Kathy do not get married, so I actually have a lot less work to do than I would if I was playing Animal Parade. So we should start to see married couples together. We'll be able to see their children at some point. So I'm kind of slapping a bow on all of our relationships and things like that with what time I have left, since I do have a lot of time in winter. But aside from that, I don't really have much to say. It's winter, so it's kind of slow going. And if we look at our calendar once again, there's really nothing going on until the end of the year. So I'm just going to keep chugging along and doing as much as I can with the days that I have. And I'll check in with you guys again once I have something to update on. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see